tired of this. Why can I never get a movie with a decent story? I always get the violent shits, or movies with killer turkeys in them, or Ninja Turtles porking each other. As a cinema snob, I require a story that challenges me intellectually. And that's why I've searched my collection high and low, and I think I found a movie that fits the bill. An adaptation of a true literary classic.
And what better classic than a movie based on Edgar Allan Poe's tale of evil, Revenge of the House of Usher, Zombie 5. Wait, the fuck? Oh my god. Zombie 5? Another Zombie 5?
Aw, damn it. You know, somehow I doubt that Edgar Allan Poe wrote The Fall of the House of Usher as a sequel to Zombie 4.
And no, this isn't just a repackaged Zombie 5 killing birds, and it isn't some obscure alternate title some asshole added to IMDb just to torment me. If you type in Revenge in the House of Usher into IMDb, it actually redirects to Zombie 5. And if you type in Zombie 5, this is the first exact match you get. So as far as I can tell, this movie is pretty much the officially recognized 5th movie in the zombie series. Wait a minute, the Big Tits Dragon? What? AKA the Big Tits Dragon, Hot Spring Zombies versus Strippers 5. Oh, thank God it was made in 2010. That means I don't have to review it.
Besides, I pretty much gave up on that series after the Big Tits Dragon, Hot Spring Zombies versus Strippers 2. After that, it just started getting repetitive.
Anyway, the movie opens up with this guy riding to the castle of Dr. Usher, which looks more like the castle of Fu Manchu. Wait a minute, that might actually be the castle of Fu Manchu. Who the fuck directed this? A film by A.M. Frank. Huh, never heard of him. That name's nowhere on the box. The box says this was directed by J.P. Johnson. IMDb says, oh my god, Jesus Franco? Jess Franco?
Oh god. Oh man. Jess Franco's the guy who actually made The Castle of Fu Manchu, a movie so fucking bad, even Mystery Science Theater couldn't save it. He's the guy who made Sadomania, but Zombie 5 he's so ashamed of, he had to come up with 2 fake names.
To be fair, I don't know that it's actually the same castle, but Jess Franco was well known for shooting several movies at the same location. And as we'll see, it's not the only thing Jess likes to recycle. This is gonna suck.
Good morning. My name is Alan Hacker. Dr. Usher wrote me. He asked me to come and see him urgently.
These pretzels are making me thirsty. Dr. Usher here wrote him a letter saying he's sick and needs help, but mentally he's so far gone, he doesn't even remember writing it, and he's gone completely batshit paranoid.
The town council has ordered me to stop my experiments. Dr. Stegmeyer and the ghost of Theodore Cajun militiamen are after me. There they are. Oh, they followed me here.
Wait, you stupid fairies. By the way, have you met my friend Harvey? But all is not as it seems at the House of Usher. Oh, wait, no. Everything is exactly as it seems, because from the first moments of the movie, it seems like a death cult run by a mad scientist, and that's exactly what it is. And I assure you, what's happening here is nowhere near as sexy as it sounds. Dr. Usher even has a weird-eyed shambling henchman named Morpho, the result of a tragic cloning accident with a human being and a piñata. He looks like a character from Team America World Police. He's looking after the women Dr. Usher has chained up in the dungeon for his scientific experiments, and those experiments appear to be centrally based around the question that's been plaguing mankind for all eternity. Can you inflate a woman's breasts with a basketball pump? And they called him mad.
They're all jealous. A plague on both their houses.
Actually, he's harvesting their blood because it's the secret of eternal life, but I'll be damned if these ladies don't sound like they're really enjoying it.
I really hope this doesn't turn into a porno. When Jess Franco isn't busy making garbage like The Castle of Fu Manchu, he's a prolific pornographer well known for making Z-grade titty flicks like The Erotic Rites of Frankenstein, The Super Witches of the Rio Amore, and 2 female spies with flowered panties, which is oddly specific and kind of intriguing. Maybe this movie should turn into a porno. At least that way, something would fucking happen!
But There's something I must do before I tell you about my research and...
What are you doing, Dr. Usher?
Oh God, no, what's he doing? I take it back. This isn't what I wanted!
I'm a murderer. I murdered many women. I murdered in the name of love. I killed them for science.
And that's basically how Dr. Usher introduces himself, by outright declaring he's a mass murderer and mad scientist. But this never really seems to sink into poor Hacker here, whose basic reaction to everything is to squint uncomprehendingly at it, as if someone were explaining how to solve quadratic equations for the first time. Instead of being alarmed by this confession, Hacker just chalks it up to Usher being old and crazy and agrees to stay the night in the castle. But he's awakened in the night by the tortured moans of the captive women in the dungeon, so he goes down there to investigate. He goes down there very, very slowly. We see every fucking step he takes.
Please.
I get it! He's walking! Move on!
It takes him 3 minutes to reach the dungeon, and even when he's looking directly at a cage full of tortured women, he doesn't look alarmed or concerned, just kinda confused and stupid.
Please, get us out.
Who the hell are you?
I'm dying.
Who locked you up?
Great. Well, it's finally happened. I finally found a worse voiceover actor than Barry from Resident Evil.
What does he keep you locked up for?
Our blood. He wants our blood.
You mean he drains you of your blood?
Oh my god, yes! That's just what she fucking said! What planet is this guy from?
He goes on to find Dr. Usher in his lab, tampering in God's domain. And by the way, we're now 30 minutes into this piece of shit, and still no zombies.
How dare you violate the private chapel?
You're a monster. A murdering monster.
Finally, a couple of lonely, atrophied synapses begin to fire in Hacker's brain, and he decides he should probably get out of there.
She will live. She will come to life again. If necessary, I'll sacrifice 100 slots.
Wait, why did he fall down? He didn't trip on anything.
Sacrifice 100 slots.
And what's with that half-hearted grunt he makes?
Sacrifice 100 slots.
It's our hero, a guy who tripped over his own shoelaces and knocked himself out, despite the fact he's not wearing any shoelaces. Don't believe this guy is the biggest idiot ever born yet? When he wakes up in bed the next morning, he immediately chalks the whole thing up to being a nightmare, even though the whole reason he was asleep in the first place was that he gave himself a concussion.
I had a horrible nightmare.
You know what? You've got mountain fever. It happens occasionally. That's what it is. Genuine old mountain fever. It happens to people who don't know the mountains, and it gives them nightmares, fever, and horrible headaches.
That is a plausible explanation, and I, Dr. Alan Hacker, believe you completely. Later that day, Dr. Usher calls Hacker into his study and sets him to work taking dictation for his memoirs.
Pick up your pen and start writing.
You want me to take down what you say?
That's right. As faithfully as you can. I, Eric Vladimir Usher, born in Prague.
Okay, Usher, born in Prague.
When I was about a child.
Wait, slow down, you're going too fast. Oh, the ink's all gummed up, damn it. Dr. Usher starts telling him about all the women he stalked and murdered over the course of 200 years seeking a scientific cure for his comatose sister Melissa. And this is where the movie comes completely off the rails. About half this movie is flashback footage lifted directly from a virtually identical mad scientist movie Jess Franco made in 1961 called The Awful Dr. Orloff, the first in a long-running series of Dr. Orloff movies starring the same guy. Why? Because Zombie 5 is literally a repackaged Dr. Orloff movie. Even the characters are exactly the same because there's a weird-eyed henchman named Morpho in those movies too. The only thing Jess Franco did was take an old Dr. Orloff script and replace the word Orloff and changed it to Usher. About half this movie is told in repurposed old footage.
Because why bother shooting new footage when you can make half your movie from other movies you've already shot? Worked so well for Crazy Fat Ethel. Oh wait, no it fucking didn't!
All we do in this movie is watch a clip from Dr. Orloff, cut back occasionally to show Hacker writing it all down and not reacting at all, before going back to another Dr. Orloff clip.
I am a sadist. Their moans, their screams brought thrills to a life which had grown singularly dull.
Any of this getting through, Alan? No? Man, I'm barely paying attention. This mountain fever is kicking my ass. I haven't even talked about the 45 minutes of padding in Zombie 5. Most of it consists of watching Morpho just sitting around staring at Dr. Usher's sister and repeating the word Melissa for 3 minutes at a time. But we can't even get to that, because most times the padding scene can't even start until Morpho finishes walking into the room and hitting his mark. And believe me, that can take a fucking long time.
That's right. In this movie, even the padding has padding. Do something!
Morpho, is the meal ready?
Yes, Doctor.
Good. Insert it in the carotid.
Well, put it down. Yes, Matthias.
Stay where you are, Matthias. I may need you.
Yes, sir.
Fuck you! I can't tell who's talking!
The dubbing in this movie is so fucking bad. It sounds like these guys recorded their ADR by shouting down 50 feet of fucking garden hose.
It isn't my body that's sick. It's my soul.
I personally think the best part of this movie is Jess Franco's iconic cinematography. Focus on the sky, gentlemen. That blank, featureless sky. Well, no, the couple making love, who put them in there? I guess we can leave them in the shot. Just cram them over to the far right and crop the attractive girl out completely. Perfect. Wait a minute. Could it be an actual zombie 66 minutes in?
Don't come any closer. Go away.
But we cut back, and nope, it turns out he was just hallucinating. Damn this mountain fever. Does it count if everyone in this movie walks like a zombie? It's not until 78 minutes in that we see something that might pass for a zombie. Maybe. But it looks more like Weird Al with a hangover.
Come here, you big fat ox. I need a sip of blood. And you know I like yours best.
Oh, of course. It must be one of those zombies that talks normally and drinks blood. There's not going to be any zombies in this movie, is there?
The zombie, or vampire, I don't know, turns out to be Dr. Usher's wife, back for revenge after being murdered in another Dr. Orloff movie. How did she become a vampire? I don't know, but she's got kind of a funny way of seeking vengeance.
I am going to make love with you. My last gift to you will be the kiss of death.
Okay, look, I know that reaction might have sounded a little bit silly, but if you were to wake up to find yourself suddenly making out with a woman with 70 years of stored-up gingivitis and morning breath, you'd probably make that noise too.
I hope she brought some lube. I imagine that dried-out zombie fat is like sticking your dick in a styrofoam block. Meanwhile, Hacker wakes up to find the housekeeper waiting to seduce him. And who could blame her? What woman could possibly resist that manly mane of hair and Chuck Norris beard?
I want to make love with you. We don't have much time.
Oh, don't worry, ma'am. I don't take that much time.
Wait a minute, where'd his vampire wife go? What, did she just fuck him and leave? And why is the servant standing there too? We heard him get killed! Is he the zombie? Well, that's pretty much the last straw for the good doctor here. He goes postal and issues the ultimate cockblock on Hacker by cutting the woman's throat just before he gets to second base. And then he rampages. rampages rather slowly back into the dungeon where some more goth women blindfold him and dance around him singing Three Blind Mice.
What? You stop that nonsense. Bunch of silly females.
What? How would the zombies in your movie act?
Eventually, Dr. Usher dies of boredom, I guess, and the house collapses for no reason. Pretty much the same way Castle of Fu Manchu ended, if I recall correctly. Oh, and hey, Melissa finally woke up. Oh. And Hacker just sort of wanders away from the whole thing, having done and learned exactly nothing.
I'll never know whether the tale Dr. Usher told me is true, or whether his sick mind made it all up. In fact, I was never able to distinguish myself between what happened and my own hallucinations. The truth lies buried beneath the stones of the castle.
Even the editors lost interest in this guy's endless droning. Yeah, fuck it, you're not listening. Let's just roll credits and get this shit done with.
Basically, this movie ends with our protagonist not knowing what the fuck just happened, or indeed, if anything fucking happened at all. Well, at least I now know I wasn't the only one. This movie has less closure than Monster fucking a Go-Go. Hell, that movie at least had more zombies in it.
Do you understand? My hands, they can... What?